Welcome to episode 6 of I'm Not a Fan Unless I Have a Podcast. This conversation is possibly my favorite to date. I talked with this guy, Ricky, lives in Oakland, California. Super Bay Area sounding guy. And we just had the best time. I've never met him before, but we hit it right off. Which I don't know. Like you've listened to this podcast a bit, I'm assuming. And we're Gizz heads. We listen to things chronologically, right? I think that's how it works. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe that doesn't carry over to the podcast realm. But in any case, we had a great conversation, and it was just the most fun. We go all over the place, and I guess, since we do have a lot of, like, this podcast is definitely geared toward super fans of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I encourage other people that aren't so hardcore to listen as well, because this is just so much fucking fun for me and other like-minded people to talk about. And, it's like I've listened to podcasts, one that I've mentioned on here before, Getting Better with Ron Funches. He's interviewed pro wrestlers. He's a comedian. Has nothing to do with pro wrestling other than just that he's a super huge fan. And when he talks with pro wrestlers on his podcast, I know nothing about WWE or any of that, or, Raw or whatever other wrestling leagues there are or organizations. Like, I know nothing about wrestling, but I still enjoy listening to him just geek out over his favorite thing. So I think you can do that with a super hardcore Gizz podcast as well. This one's a great time because, I've mentioned this before on the pod, but if this is the first time you're tuning in, before the quarantine happened, I was a stand-up comedian. And, so when you are a comic, you get into this type of headspace where you need to just constantly riff and just goof with each other and just bounce ideas off and just really go as much back and forth as you can. That's hilarious. It's just the biggest rush. And Ricky is not a comedian. He's a musician, but that didn't matter. We were still able to just, riff off each other, play things off each other, and it was just the coolest fucking time. It's something that I've missed about comedy or just about life, since I had to stop doing comedy. But anyway, while we're on that topic, don't worry, we're going to get right into this in like a minute. But I did want to say, I think my favorite part, or one of my favorite parts about having this podcast, is that I can finally make jokes about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and trust that the other person understands it. This is something that I've learned the hard way from attempting on stage. You can't talk about something that nobody else knows, has any frame of reference about. So, all my Gizz jokes landed flat back when I was on stage. But when you got a podcast, when it is geared toward diehards and people that might just be getting into the band and wanting to learn more, they finally have a place. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this conversation that I have with Ricky from Oakland.
Hello.
There it is. There's Ricky.
Okay, so you're coming through my laptop speaker. I can just go Bluetooth headphones, I guess. I don't know if that's gonna fuck things up.
I mean, however you are right now is fine. Like, there's no I'm not hearing any feedback or anything, and you sound pretty clear.
Okay. Use the headphones.
Cool.
Hello?
Yep.
Are you there?
Yeah. Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. So, and keep talking one more
Okay,
time.
so I do get a little bit of feedback.
Okay, I'm turning it down now.
Okay, and hey,
Hello?
no more feedback. There it is.
Okay, and my sound card's working now. Okay, I think it was freaking out about my multi-track thingy, but
Yeah, possibly. Also, just this app has been pretty wonky, just in connecting people. So, yeah, no worries. And I think by far you have the best sound quality of any guest thus far.
awesome. I'm on a
Um,
vocal mic on my laptop, so
nice,
yeah.
nice, and it's probably better than my mic because I'm just using an Apple headset while my computer is backing up all stuff. The hard drive's kind of going, so like my computer's sort of in limbo. Otherwise, I would be
Yeah.
using a USB mic. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no, you sound great. To me, you sound crystal clear and full. Like it doesn't sound like swishy or digital or anything. So it sounds good over here.
hey, all right. Shout out one time to Apple.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, not exactly known for their quality of sound products, but in any case,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So we finally were able to do this.
Finally, yeah, it feels good. Yeah, I was getting a little nervous there. I was like,
Yeah,
damn it! And whose end is it on? And then it's like, oh, it's actually on Spotify's
yeah,
end.
or Anchor.
Well, I think I saw something just about that Spotify had put it out. I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's like Anchor will automatically submit all the podcasts to like every platform.
Oh, nice.
Um, so yeah, like Spotify is one of the first ones. I think they have a partnership with them, but anyway, let's talk some Gizz.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming on I'm Not a Fan Unless I Have a Podcast. So first thing I want to do is just get a little basic background about you. How old are you? Age, sex, location.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm a guy from the Bay Area, Oakland specifically. I am 38 years old. I'm a musician, and I've been listening to Gizz for about 2 years. I want to say 3 years, maybe.
Sick. So how did you first, find them, and when was that roughly?
Well, so if I can be totally candid on this, I
Yes,
imagine I can.
please. I mean,
Yes.
God, that's the
So,
only way I'm going to have any sort of,
yeah.
retained listenership.
Yeah. So, anyways, so me and my best friend were on a kick. I guess this was 2 summers ago. Basically, he's buying tickets to every concert there was. So him and his girlfriend and me, my wife, were going to just a ton of concerts. And so he's like, "Oh, dude, Steely Dan's playing Friday." So we go to see Steely Dan, and we proceed to do just copious amounts of cocaine. And we were like up all night after the show. We're hanging out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, tomorrow. We have that other show." And he's like, "Who is it?" And he's like, "Oh, I bought the tickets because the name was kind of funny, but I saw some KEXP things. They look pretty cool." So I'm like, "All right." So I'm like trying to cram them the week before the show. But the next day we basically got no sleep. We go to the Gizz show at the Warfield, and we ended up like dosing LSD and fucking we went and basically Emil and Sniffers opened, and that was fucking amazing. They were amazing. But we saw them, and I was tripping pretty hard, but I was like, just my mind was blown right out of the gate. And I remember after the show going, like I think they had me like within like the second or third song, man, and it was Digital Black into Vomit Coffin.
Yeah.
And I go back to the set list. I find it later that's what they fucking opened with, and I'm like, oh shit, so they got me from the fucking get. And my jaw was dropped to the floor, and yeah, I was just basically we went home and watched like all their videos on YouTube, and just like pretty much ever since then I've just been like completely just obsessed and listening. So
Holy shit! From cocaine to LSD. Here.
that was a real fucking bender. Like
Yeah.
it was like I was up for like 2 days straight, and but it was great, man. Like I mean,
Holy
basically
shit.
right before Gizz came on, like everyone but me was kind of feeling like really like sleepy, like they were gonna like, but then all of a sudden like they came on and it just like energized us all, and like
Yes.
it was insane, dude. Like I remember we were pretty high up in the balcony, and I saw the sea of people down there, and I was just like, that looks insane. It looked like there were so many people. It was just, I mean, the show was sold out. It was fucking dope.
Oh yeah. I mean, so that was that. So where's the Warfield at? I'm not familiar with that place.
That's in San Francisco. Like it's kind of like a mid-sized theater. I don't know
Okay.
how many. I don't know how many people, but it's got a balcony.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like bigger than the Independent.
Yeah, definitely bigger than
Okay.
the Independent. Yeah,
Cool.
by like 4 times maybe. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a proper like theater from like the 1800s, I think, or something.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the Independent is definitely not comparable in that case, but it's the only venue that I've been to in San Francisco. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I saw them. I just saw them most recently at this place called SVN, but I guess it used to be the Fillmore East,
oh,
and
okay.
it was a Honda dealership. Most of my life, I had no idea what it used to be like, a long time ago, and then I found out that's what it was.
Yeah,
And we
that, I
saw
mean,
them
that
there, and the sound was kind of crappy though.
really that's
Yeah,
too bad.
yeah,
Come to think of it, so I saw them last year in Seattle. They played the Paramount Theater, which is a great theater. And like I've seen a few shows there. I saw Primus there, and they
yeah,
sounded good. Rodrigo y Gabriela sounded amazing there.
yeah,
But Gizz was just like a little too loud for that room, I think.
yeah.
Um, because like at least when you're in the when you're in like the balcony seating, um, like I don't know, maybe just being so close to the ceiling kind of fucks with the acoustics, but yeah, it was it's not the best. Like I definitely prefer to see Giz in a really open space. Like first time I saw them, Brooklyn Steel in New York City,
Oh,
and
I've seen videos of that, man, or at least another Brooklyn Steel show.
yeah,
Yeah.
that room is great because it can fit a ton of people, but it can also breathe. Um, so like there's plenty of room for the sound to travel, and they sounded incredible there.
You know,
Um,
the best place I saw them, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
yeah, oh yeah, no, totally.
The best place I saw them was Desert Days. I believe it was 2018 they played.
Yep.
Oh my God, it was like on a beach of a lake, and the sound quality was amazing. And they had like double visuals on they had like extra screens on the side doing even different like visual shit that they don't normally do. It was insane. It was like they were like live video looping of like Stu doing weird shit. It was very much enjoyable. But I think the
Oh,
best
holy
sound
shit.
quality and probably like the best show. Like, do you mind if I tell a story about that show?
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh God. Fuck yes, please.
so yeah, so we were there. It was me and my wife and my best friend's girlfriend, but he wasn't there, so it was just the three of us at Desert Days. And it's on a beach, and we got like as close as we possibly could, and then we're waiting for them to go on, and like they're actually up there sound checking their own shit. It was amazing. And we're just watching them, like doing kick drum, snare fucking checks, and Stu's doing vocal lines, and so like we're thinking we're gonna get like super fucking close. And God, I can't remember what they fucking opened with. It might have been something off of Mind Fuzz. I can't remember, but
Mhm.
basically, the minute they started playing, it was like we like felt like liquid. Like we just whoosh. We just got like just pushed out. Like we didn't realize that we had camped out in the epicenter of the pit, basically. And like I basically was holding on to my wife, and I was like, "Where's Raynell at?" Like our friend, and basically, like I was just like, "It's her. It's either my friend's girlfriend or Chloe." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I just grabbed her, and like we held on, and like she's like, "What happened to Raynell?" And like we're like 100 yards from where we were, and I was like, "I think she's dead." And so it was just basically, I went back. I stupidly, because it was a camping thing, I was wearing flip flops, and I lost my flip flops in the
Oh
sand.
God.
They just
Yeah.
got buried. I was barefoot for the rest of the show. It was pretty gnarly, but also just one of the best performances I've seen them at too. It was really good.
Yeah. I had a friend go to Desert Days, and she saw them there, and it was just like I envy her so much because like so I used to live in New York City.
Hmm.
And then like a year and a half ago, I moved out to Joshua Tree, so I'm like right by Desert Days,
Oh yeah,
and
that's where it was originally, I think, and then they went to
yeah,
Lake Paris the last couple
yep,
times. Yeah.
yeah. So it used to be in Joshua Tree where they played in 2016.
Yeah.
Like I saw Desert Days just posted a bunch of old pictures, basically just just like making me live a life of regret because I think 2016 like the OCs played as well.
Uh-huh.
And I mean they're insane live too.
Yeah,
Um,
my that's my wife's. Before King Gizzard, the OCs was my wife's favorite band, and
that's
I've been.
cool.
Yeah,
You got a fucking cool wife, man.
right. Yeah, that's hard to find, man. Yeah, we're very much aligned musically. So, yeah, and so she was really into, and I was always like, for me, like we always like she thinks I hate them, and I don't. Like I just like Giz a way more, and she's like there
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
be any Giz if there wasn't OCs, and I'm like that is true. And I don't discount that, but the Giz I feel like they've transcended, and they're just fucking, they're psychedelic gods, as my wife Chloe says.
Oh yeah, yeah, completely. And I mean, like you can't discount, the influence of a band. Like there would be no Beatles if it weren't for Muddy Waters,
Yeah,
and Not that Muddy Waters is shit, but I think like if you were to compare Muddy Waters to the Beatles, it would be kind of like the OCs compared to King Gizzard
Yeah,
and the
it's
Lizard
it's
Wizard.
it's it's the prototype, and like they elaborated on it. I mean,
Yeah,
like the OCs doesn't have like the river, for me anyway. Like so,
no,
and they really, I think they're really exploring some really deep shit. So I don't know, that's
oh
my
yeah,
preference, but I respect the lineage, and whatnot. I mean, I think Castle Face Records, their record label, put out one of the records. I forget which one, but
yeah.
um,
I don't know anything really.
yeah,
Like,
I'm not one of the record collector guys. Like, I just can't afford it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm careful not to buy too much stuff, but it is hard. They do make it really compelling.
yeah,
And like I have bought I got 4 Gizz albums on vinyl.
yeah.
And that sort of jump started my own record collection. Um, but but yeah, man. So you're planning on going to the at least a couple of the marathon shows, right?
Yeah, me and my best friend have tickets to the Berkeley one and the Red Rocks one, and that's the bum out. I mean, of all the things of like, I almost lost my job, but I didn't, but severely lost it, and a lot of other upsets this year. This just takes the cake. I mean, it was so close. We were just a couple months away, and it was like maybe it'll still happen, and it's like nope, shelter in place. You just kept getting extended, and yeah, like they say that the next date in October or whatever. I'm not holding my breath about that one, but I know someday,
Yeah,
hopefully, one day, hopefully it'll happen, and I just have to be patient because that's not my strong suit.
yeah. I hope so. I mean, I think it'll like if I had to guess, it'll probably be 2021.
Yeah,
And as I say that now, like I'm recording all these episodes like a couple a day, just this first week before I even launch the podcast. So like there for the audience at home or wherever you are, it's sorry for the repeat talking points, but yeah, I'm not exactly an optimist when it comes to this stuff. But I do think eventually we'll get there.
yeah. I think it's best not to to push it. Just like removing the shelter in place. We should just wait this out. I mean, when they actually do play those shows, it's gonna be fucking glorious, and I'm gonna be just really really excited to be there. And
Yeah, and who knows? Like they could, I wouldn't put it past them to announce like more marathon shows, like maybe just make their entire tour.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I mean, because you're only young once,
yeah.
and they're not going to be able to hold to keep going at the rate that they are like their whole lives.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we're so lucky that they're just in their 20s and that Joey's 32 and seems pretty versatile.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, absolutely. He's like, yeah, they're awesome. And on top of all that, they fucking owe it to us.
oh yeah.
Just kidding. No.
Yeah, but yeah, well, I think they've been really slacking in the last year, like or the last year or two. Like 2017, it was 5 albums, and then just in 2 years, 2 albums
Yeah.
total. Like the shit is
Well,
that?
well, I mean, Stu, Cavs, and Cookie got married, I think, right? I believe.
Yeah, and and Lucas too. Lucas has a kid.
Lucas has a kid, yeah, and so yeah, like I mean, I think they're just and what can they do now? So hopefully they're just banking songs and shit. I don't know if they can even be together. I don't know how that fucking works, but people are recording online and shit, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, here's a hot take from me. I hope I hope that none of them have any kids. I just want more music.
Same.
we got an overpopulation problem for one thing.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like how selfish would it be of them to create little miniature versions of themselves to what are they supposed to become the next coming of King Gizzard? Like that would be so selfish of them to procreate.
Yeah.
We need more music. That's what the world needs.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I have no children and I don't plan on having any. So.
Yeah, well, I was planning. Like, I just turned 30. I was hoping to get a vasectomy for my birthday, but elective surgery is kind of taboo now. But...
Yeah, I hear that.
Anyway, so what? So like that's sick that you got to. I mean, basically, it's insane that you found Gizzard through cocaine.
Yeah.
Because, like, it does make sense that would be a name that jumps out at you while you're on coke, but, like...
Well, my friend...
The music itself is not exactly
Yeah, no, no,
one
no. My,
of a
my friend had
cokehead.
bought the tickets like weeks or months and before that. I think it was just that he kind of forgot, or we were just kind of like, oh yeah, we have those two shows this weekend, and we just ended up going to Steely Dan, which was awesome, and that was kind of like the thing was that was kind of an amazing show, and we were just like hyped up from that show, and then we just ended up staying all night, as you do on Blow,
Hmm.
and we just kind of like we're just chopping it up and have a really good time, and then I think my friend went home for like 4 hours, and then they came back, and then we went to King Gizzard, and like I said, it just was just like it was a crazy experience, like we were all there, like I remember bits and pieces, but I had to like go back and get the set list and then like research the songs. Go, oh, I remember that one. They did this. They played something there that I've never heard them play or see in a video before, and like maybe it was the drugs, but I do remember them doing some little like it was like a little interlude between two of the songs, and it was early on in the set. That's all I remember, and I wish somebody had video of it because I just don't know what it was. It was like Joey and Stu were doing some weird harmonic clinky thing with their strings, and it was really fucking cool. And I wish I could like see that again because
Oh shit! I wonder if that was Evil Death Roll.
maybe I wonder, but it was like
I mean, okay, because that blew my fucking mind when I saw that in New York last year.
yeah.
Like, oh my god, that I it's so weird. Like you see certain songs and they just turn into total bangers. Like if you just somehow manage to pass it by on the record.
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny because like Desert Days and also in Chunky Shrapnel they do the river into Wawa, and I remember Desert Days. Finally, they played the river live because I had seen them a couple times before, and I never got a river, and I was like really wanted a fucking river, and I got three-quarters of the goddamn river, and I didn't get my last fucking part, and like me and my wife were both pretty bummed out about that, and then
oh yeah,
and then Chunky, because
right,
I like Wawa, I totally do, but like I'm kind of just like part of me wants the end of the river, and I think like
dude, you. That is exactly what went through my head when I was at the Greek Theater show in L.A. last year.
yeah.
That's what they did, and I was just like, come
It was
on.
blue balls for the river, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need closure, and I didn't have any resolution there. It really bummed me out. I thought
Uh,
they were eventually going to go back, but they didn't. And I'm like, come on, guys. I'm hoping they do that at the marathon shows. I thought we get river, Wawa, back into the river. Come on, man. And that's
yeah,
one of the big things is like I played in bands a lot, and I've just mostly for drugs' sake. I've played in some jam bands and hung out with these cool guys, and like because they always had the best pot and psychedelics, and so I've gotten to know like the Grateful Dead and like Fish a little bit, and like it's totally not my cup of tea. There's like I can pick songs I like. I don't really like the live stuff so much. But like the King Gizzard, like I hear myself saying things that like Deadheads say, and I think it's so funny. Like you're like, oh man, we didn't get fucking River 4, man. They went into fucking Wawa, dude. And it's like, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I would follow them around if they toured that much. I would fucking follow them from every fucking parking lot to parking lot. I would fucking do that. Like,
yeah.
definitely. So like I can identify and I understand now. Like a lot of people don't understand the Grateful Dead, and I'm just like, you know what? If you're into the King Gizzard, then I'm sorry, then you have to understand what those guys are about. It just
You
really strikes a note with you, and I think that's really cool about the community too, is because it's just like people you either get it or you don't. And if you get it, you fucking love it. I don't know anybody who's like lukewarm about King Gizzard.
yeah,
Really,
well,
I know a couple people. I to be honest, maybe they're like, or at
yeah.
least my one friend kind of pretends that he likes them, and I'm like, dude, you don't really like them. I like try to talk about it with him, and he's like, huh? What's that? I'm like, yeah, you don't fucking know.
Yeah, my like so my best friend in New York City, he's a huge Deadhead.
Mhm.
And like we've, like we so we're both comedians.
Mhm.
And we and so like we're writing partners and everything, and when I lived there, we would trip in Central Park all the time,
Mhm.
or and it was it's like we're really tight, but he can't, like he's been trying to get into King Gizzard, and because he's just like, it has such an effect on me that he's just like, I have to try. So like
Yeah.
he's putting in the work now, and finally he's getting into, he got into quarters, and then he texted me and he was just like, hey, King Gizzard kind of sounds like just a Zeppelin ripoff. I was just like, you mean God in the Rhythm is just a better song than Dire Maker? And then he was just like, oh yeah, that was it.
That's so funny. Like, oh, that's the other thing. That's the thought I had. It was like, a lot of Deadheads also used to be like ex metalhead. So I was like, was he ever into metal at all?
No,
No, okay. See, because
no,
I know
no,
a
no.
lot of deadheads were like, if the regular Gizz doesn't get them, like Rat's Nest probably will because they probably had their Slayer or their Metallica phase or their
Uh-huh.
thrash metal phase.
Definitely. And like I guess there have been some people, just like various people from my past on Facebook who were, ex metalheads from like the '80s and stuff. They're just like, hey, what? Like they wanted some album recommendations. So I was like, hey, you'll probably like this one, Infest the Rat's Nest, big Slayer guy. But
Mm-hmm.
uh, what's hilarious about my friend getting into the Dead though is that before the Dead, he was just the biggest John Mayer fan, and
Oh
that's
my!
that's why he got into the Dead. Uh, it's just so
Wow.
it's so fucking funny that he's a trip. But yeah,
That's funny.
um, I mean, it's just one of the silliest like logic patterns that I've heard of. Just getting into the Dead, um, but yeah. So how many times have you seen King Gizzard?
Well, let's see. Four times.
So okay, so four times, and you've only gotten half of the river. Uh, so
The three
that's
quarters. I just never got the very last little bit
okay.
they do. Yeah,
I
but
got
like
you.
the part that's in 4/4 actually.
Yeah, right.
And yeah. So what else?
Yeah. So well, yeah. So like is are there any other songs of theirs that like you've been trying to see, then and
Mm,
just like they haven't come through?
God, let me think here. Well, there's a lot of stuff on paper mache that I'd like to hear, but like they never play that stuff. Well, and that's actually what bummed me out about Chunky Shrapnel too, was it was just you get like a little taste of sense, which I would love to see that
Yeah.
live. Really what I want to see is like Hot Water live with actual flute. Because I think
Yeah.
I believe there's that live video on YouTube at Brooklyn Steel, and like it's the one where they start with Head on a Pill. Fucking you get like Hot Water, you get fucking the river, all the full river. Like it's just a really awesome. I think it's like 2016 or 17, so it's just like an amazing period. It's like I think it's just a while after what do you call it, Float Along, and
Yeah.
yeah, and all
And
that
Mind
whole
Fuzz.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Mind Fuzz or around Mind, it was definitely Mind Fuzz. No, actually, it was Nonagon because they do play Nonagon. That was the new album then. I
Oh yeah,
remember him saying. I
that
remember him
must have
saying,
been
"This is the new song."
yeah, that must have been the fucking time. I mean, it's so weird. Like I got into them late 2017,
Hmm.
and then saw them for the first time in 2018, and like I felt like I was late to the party.
Yeah, same.
But
Yeah,
then
same.
there are people that like just got into them, after Infest the Rat's Nest, and like I'm so grateful for the experiences that I've had thus far. Um, but uh, yeah, and so back to what I was talking about with like these songs that like I really want to see and just haven't seen. Like that was my main reason for getting tickets to all three marathon shows, was like
Yep.
I need to see Head on Pill live. I've seen them 5 times and they
So,
haven't played it once.
that song,
Um,
it just is like that song rocks my ass so hard, and I want to see it live so bad.
yeah, well,
they,
and yeah.
Go ahead.
So go ahead.
No, no, no. I didn't have anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, like that was a song that I got really into while I was on mushrooms, just because it was stuck in my head, and it was like the only thing keeping me uh, going because like it was I happened to be tripping outside in Central Park on the hottest day of the summer. So it was
Yeah.
just like there were mosquitoes everywhere, and I was like anything to distract me from the mosquitoes. So just that constant drone in my head of Head on Pill just going and
Hmm.
going. I was like, this song is the meaning of life.
Yep.
And I was just like, I need to see that shit live, because not only is it an amazing song, but when they play it live, they're going to go for at least 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
like I need that to round it out. Like, sure,
Again, another very Grateful Deady thing.
yeah, no, totally.
And I'll say, dude, I'm a chef, and I'd say like a year ago, I was working as in a catering job that like I had to be at work at like 4 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning or something,
Yeah,
and it was miserable. I'm just not built for the morning, and I just had to drag my ass out, and that would just be like my song. Like that was my coffee. Was like head on a pill, and just fucking I would just go, and it was like exactly the length of my drive to work, and I was ready to go by the time I got to work. Like
Oh, that's
pretty much
perfect.
every day for like 4 months. I just had to pop that song on. It was so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a so was your alarm in the morning 30 past 7?
Oh, yeah, right. No, I've tended not to do any songs that I like in the morning because I end up hating them for
Uh,
their alarm tone. My wife did it with an OC song, and like that was one of the reasons she thought I hated the OCs. I just hated that one song because it was her alarm clock. It was just a loop of that one part of the song, and I was like, oh, it actually might even have been OCs. I think it was Damaged Bug, which is John Dwyer's side project, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, the wife must fucking hate all your hating on John Dwyer.
Oh,
Uh,
she's gonna hear this. I'm
yeah,
gonna
well,
get it
guess
from her.
what? John Dwyer sucks.
He's on my side, babe.
No, I'm
No.
fucking around.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, like I did get to see the OCs last summer. They
Hmm.
played up here in at Pappy and Harriet's, which is like a really nice small venue, outdoors, and like the show was sold out. So I just I got really lucky in knowing somebody that works at the venue.
Hmm.
So she's just able to get me in for free. Um,
Dope.
but it was yeah, that was a pretty insane show. I wish I was on acid, but I only got weed.
Yeah,
um,
yeah. That's usually the state that I've seen the OCs in, like because they play San Francisco quite a bit, and I think they're LA based, but they're from the Bay Area, so like
yeah,
yeah. But we stopped. We didn't get to ever really see them when they were here, and then but they still came up like every year, a couple times a year to like this venue called the Chapel or the Great American Music Hall in the city in San Francisco.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. So we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon,
Hmm.
but I guess like if you had to like if you had to pick a favorite album, what would it be? Or if you can't pick one, why do you hate this question?
uh, you know, it's probably just too. It's not a cop out, but I mean, it's just. I mean, a good album's a good album. I think "I'm in Your Mind Fuzz" is like my favorite album. I can always put that album on like and listen to it front to back. There's like nothing about that album I dislike, and there's really nothing. The thing, the one thing I will say about King Gizzard songs, even the ones that maybe you don't like, but the ones that aren't like your favorite, the ones that you might even skip, when you see them live almost every time. In fact, I would say in my case, every time I've seen a song, I was like, I didn't really care for that song on the album so much, but when I see it live, it just always changes my opinion about it, and then I can listen to it on the album again. And I don't know what that's about, but I've talked to a couple people about this, and I feel like it's pretty common. Like if
Oh
there's a
yeah.
song that's not doing it for you, check a live version, and then you'll fucking understand why the song is so dope because you're actually seeing them play it. I don't know if that's part of it or what, but
No,
yeah,
I think it is. It's like when you actually see the magic being made right in front of you, it's like, oh, okay, that's like it's easier to get into it because like I think it's just that subconscious kind of empathy
yeah.
with the musicians. It's yeah. So
And
like when they played Hot Water on fuck, I forget which live album it was. I think yeah, I think it was the Live in Adelaide.
mhm.
Uh, they had their friend from Wildlife come on. Like yeah, once they played that, I was like, oh okay, this is actually a really cool. Just it's a chill song.
Mhm.
Um, but there's like they do such a good job with all their albums of like ordering the tracks and obviously live with the set lists. Um, but with Float Along Fill Your Lungs, I don't know if you saw this in the fan page, but like a few months ago, they decided to or some one of the fans uh, posted a Spotify playlist called "Fill Your Lungs, Float Along,"
Mhm.
which was just that album in reverse order, and that was actually a better sonic experience.
Wow.
Um,
I've
it's
read something about that, but I don't think I saw all that, but it didn't like register what it was to me.
yeah, it was like once I saw that, I was
I gotta try
I
that
was
out.
all
Yeah, I'll check it out
yeah,
on Spotify.
it's really good. like, although I wasn't able to access that playlist, I don't know why, but
You can always make it
uh,
yourself, though. It's easy to
yeah,
make your own playlist.
that right. So that's what
Well,
I ended up doing.
I will say, I'm not a huge metal guy. I'm not anti-metal at all. I just it's it doesn't really like strike a chord with me. But so Rat's Nest, I was really like not hesitant, but I was listening to Fishies for a long time, and I didn't move on to like Rat's Nest really till actually I think I saw him last time, which is right after that album came out, like just a few days I think after Infest the
Yeah.
Rat's Nest had come out. And then seeing those songs live, and then I was like, again, I was just like, yep, okay, that they're really doing it, like it's still Gizz, it still sounds like them, but they're doing metal. And so that's actually what I've been listening to a lot recently, like way after the fact, but it's
Oh yeah.
yeah, but I'm really getting into that album now, especially since I'm just jonesing for a new album at this point. So I kind of saved it for myself, I guess.
And I mean, it does look like they're working on something. I don't know if you saw that story that Mickey Caps posted on Instagram, but like, did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, but I feel like I heard somebody say something about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody just copied and pasted it into the group, and it's like there's no sound, but it's just you see all the waveforms and
oh, that's right. I did
all
see
these insane time signatures.
Yeah, it was a song with like all the time signatures. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
You know what? I sometimes I'm just a zombie on my phone. Yes, I did see that actually. It was like Pro Tools with all the different time signature changes. I did see that. Yes.
Yep, that's all.
So
that's quite
that's
relatable.
awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping something comes soon.
Yeah, and but back to like not being a metalhead, I wasn't really. And like I don't really listen to much metal anyway, but Infest the Rat's Nest is something that like I think that was my most listened to album of theirs last year.
Yeah.
Even though it came out in August, like just the like Venusium 1 was just that opening riff leading into the first verse. I was just like, what the fuck are they doing here? And it was just like they went through like 3 different or 4 different like sub riffs to make that into like set the theme, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is chaotic.
Dude, Joey fucking shreds on that album, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, well, I think it's Stu mostly with the guitars.
I think they're both doing it. Like they're doing a lot of like dual fucking solo shit, I think.
Yeah, I mean I know I don't know how they recorded it. I know Joey did the bass for the album.
Yeah,
and he fucking killed it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, that album's crazy. And actually, it's been like in the last month that I've started getting more into Fishies.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't know why it wasn't really that easy for me to get into that album when it came out. Like I saw what they were doing with the progression, gradually going toward like futuristic and Cyboogie.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like the A side of that album didn't really do it for me.
Well,
So-
I will say, I think to this day, and my wife said that she saw, what do you call it, Boogeyman Sam live, and that she didn't like that song, but then seeing it live, she liked it. I'm still pretty like just meh about that song. It rubs me the wrong way, and I'm sorry for anyone who's going to be pissed off about this. I'll check the comment section, but
this episode is full of so many hot takes.
Trust me, I got plenty of hot takes. I stand by them all.
This is good. Another song that I was kind of ambivalent toward when I first heard it was the Bird song.
Oh, I love Bird song. I've always loved Bird song.
Well, so then I finally saw it live, and I was like, okay,
I
finally.
Good.
I got into it.
Yeah.
Because basically what it was is I was on acid this time, and I and like I was like, to a bird, what's a plane? And I was just like, that is such a fucking incredible like concept of like doing of writing a song from the perspective of a bird.
Yeah.
Which I totally copied. Like since I just got back into songwriting myself like a month ago, I wrote like this dreamscape of a pessimistic seagull.
That's awesome.
But
I love that concept.
Yeah,
dude, I didn't. My show was a lot of Rat's Nest. The last one, I wanted this thing. I wanted Bird Song. There were so many songs on. Pretty much all I remember was I think we got Cyboogie and Boogeyman Sam. I think like someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was only maybe like three, maybe four possible songs they played off Fishing for Fishies, which bummed me out a little bit because like I was that was the album I was listening to a lot last year. And then
Yeah,
yeah, and then like I said, just recently got into Rat's Nest, like really fully, like just took it on, and really enjoying it. So
definitely. Well, cool, Ricky. This has been a really fun time.
thanks for having me. I
And
really appreciate it.
yeah, totally. And like, definitely, let's keep in touch. And I hope to see you in October or 2021 or whenever the
Yeah,
Berkeley show ends up happening.
dude. When Berkeley
But
happens, we gotta hook up at the show, man. Like definitely, like
oh,
keep
for
up with
sure.
me, and then we'll talk on Facebook, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, dude, that sounds good. Take it easy,
Cool.
man.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone. Thanks.